this is what I did. um I used to have these two macros, which is tank and spank. It's my main rotation. um so this is the normal macro, of course. And I used to have this advanced inferno. I did just so I could keep track of the infernal strikes, because of course I didn't want to hit them all the time and waste the charges. So I will had like a alt to throw it on the player, or just single click on it and they will place it whatever. But anyway, so what I did is I clean up this one. I made a new macro and I removed it from the key press because you can't do the pauses on the key press. So I put it on the sequence, and I only put the spell that I needed, which is to cast it under the player, Infernal Strike. And then I added the click pause up to 7 seconds. So here it works into global numbers, which is not the milliseconds, but full seconds. You can do like also fractions of it, like 7.5, 7.3 if you want to, but I just left it as a whole. And then in the options, make sure you set the milliseconds to whatever you have on your macro software. In this case, we use Logitech. So on the Logitech key, I have bound for spamming the number 1. I have it toggle set to 100 on delay for milliseconds. Now that means 10 times it gets hit on the macro equals to 1 second, because 10 by 100 is 1,000, and 1,000 milliseconds equals 1 second. So GSE will read that every 10 times that the macro gets hit or clicked, it will count as a 1 second, which it means 1 pause. So when it reaches 7 pauses, which is 7 seconds, then it will recast again, go back to the top. Okay, so the delay command is just click, pause, then second. Yeah. So slash click, space, pause, space, and the amount of seconds you want. Now, once that you have that on your side macro, if you want to import it, what you do is you go back to your main macro and you put it under the key press. I set it on the first line. That way, the reason I put it on the key press is because if you put it on the sequence, it will only be activated depending on the line it is. So it's not like always going off. Like if you put it, let's say, in the 4th line, all these other abilities have to go first before it reaches to the click advance infernal 2 in this case. So to make sure that you always get it to activate and count as a click, you have to put it on the key press in the first line. That way it counts towards the amount of clicks, so it's perfect delay and the seconds. So you just type slash click space and then the whole name, however you name the side macro for keeping track of your ability with charges or cooldowns or whatever you want to put in it. And once that's up, you just save it, and I will put a timer here so you can see. Right here's my stopwatch. So it should go every 7 seconds. The second macro here, you see? So here you go. That counted as a 1, and it should come up pretty soon the next one. See? There's the second one. And in 14 seconds again, it should come up with the second one. Yep, there he is. So yeah, it goes in every 7 seconds. It will rotate and cast the macro again. And that's it. I don't have to keep track of the damn infernal strikes anymore. And what happens is it will keep my debuff. If you can see it over here, it will make it so it doesn't overlap all the time. See, it just puts that a new one out again, refresh it. So I have a constant debuff all the time without overlapping as much. So that should increase the DPS. And that's how you pretty much make the delays happen.